Hey, good morning, everyone. It's March 25th. We got the EPS long range scanner trade ideas. Let's get into this. So, we're starting off with ECX, and we're looking for this rally back above the 2-day VWAP around this 290 area. And we're looking to see if price could start to reclaim this 290 area. So, it gets up here, and maybe we could start to see a reclaim above this 290. And then we get some strength. We could purchase above this 290 with the stop potentially under this 269 premises. LX, after yesterday's pullback into the 2-day VWAP here, you could see, and the previous pivot high on this 30-minute time frame, right in this area, get rid of this previous drawing, but it's doing as we like to see. So let's get rid of these drawings to clean up the chart. And we could see that price rallied back to this area that was acting as resistance, this pivot high, and it's pulling back in this pre-market into this 3-day VWAP area. So what we're looking to see is to see very similar. If this could get back above that 2-day VWAP, get tight here, don't get too extended, and then get some strength back above this 1111 area with a potential stop at this 1096, or if you want to keep it bigger, underneath this 1045. RTX. So right now it's currently digesting this recent rally. You could see here on the daily time frame, and we're monitoring to see if this could come back to the 133.63 area, the 2-day VWAP. So this got a little extended on the close here. So ideally, we'd look to see if this could just get a little pullback here, digest this gain, be back to the 3-day VWAP, get back above the daily 2-day VWAP, and then get going. So on RTX, we'd be looking to see if we could get back around that 130.394, and then a stop potentially at this 133.39 area. So moving on to NOK. Same similar concept, digesting this recent rally with a little bit of a pullback. We saw that we were looking for, in this scenario, on this pullback to the 5-day to get some strength, get some consolidation, and then we could play with a higher low here and buy. That didn't play out. Instead, we actually have this situation playing out, where we had this pullback digestion, and we're failing back underneath this 5-day moving average, rally to a new low under this flat to declining 5-day moving average. However, this could be a little shakeout that we want, because you could say cup, handle, and all that's saying is the potential shift from lower lows to lower highs to now potentially higher highs and higher lows, right? So if we could get back above this region here, we could potentially be getting higher highs, but we're underneath the declining 5-day moving average. So NOK ideally needs to digest this rally, monitor a rally into this 538, and then we're going to look for a pullback to that 530 region. And as this pullback occurs, the data on the 5-day moving average will start to get dropped off here in these premises. So this would ideally give the opportunity for, in a couple of days, for us to get tight here, let that 5-day moving average start to flatten out and rise, and then maybe we could look to buy something above in this area, this 538, with the potential stop under here at 534. Moving on to AFL. AFL is holding to this prior day VWAP from 824, actually from October 24, the 18th. You could see this high, and you could see we got above it and it failed. We get above it, it failed. So this time, instead of rallying 8% above it in 8 trading days, we still are pretty aggressively off this low, 5%. So ideally, this could come back and settle down a little bit. So we're going to watch for a pullback into this 109.38 region to 108.52. So ideally pull back to this 3-day VWAP area, digest this gains, get a little bit of a shakeout, consolidate, and then we'll monitor this VWAP from the high, and ideally look to get back above that VWAP, and then maybe we can make a purchase here in this 109.15 with a potential stop under this 108.29. So ideally, I don't think this is setting up for a low risk setup right now, but could be on watch list for potential in the next couple of days. BCS. So this is digesting a recent rally from the 50-day moving average here. You could see on the daily chart that we had this recent rally. You could see 12% in 7 days up to this high right here. So we got this nice pullback to the 20-day moving average. And after this failed breakout, we got this pullback to the 20-day moving average. And now we're looking to see if we could get back above the 1604 area where we're trading in the pre-market. So maybe we look for price to get above the 1604, 1608. And then we could potentially have a stop at this 1587 region underneath this 5-day moving average. And then if this quickly gets going up in here, we come over stop up underneath this 2-day VWAP. Moving on. ARQT. So we got a recent strong rally, and definitely not early to this trend here. You could see here recent rally of 42% in almost 2 trading weeks. So perhaps it just keeps going, but from a low risk reward, it's a little bit more difficult. So we'll kind of just monitor a pullback into the $17 region. See if we can get a pullback into this 3-day VWAP, get some strength back above that 2-day VWAP. Maybe that's our shakeout. And then we can look to get a play. We buy above here, set a stop under 1690, buy above 1735. So if price can't get back above this 1725, monitor a breakdown of this 17 for further digestion or further pullback of this recent rally. ADPT, it's got this up 3 days in a row. So I want to avoid really chasing here. And you could see it's already undertaking profit taking and on that close yesterday, closing beneath the daily VWAP near this 2-day. So maybe we get this comes in, fills this gap here. Just needs to digest these gains over these next couple of days. And then maybe we'll set up something like this. And then we could start to look to be more interested. And what we could see is a potential shift from lower lows to lower highs to higher highs and higher lows, which we don't have lower lows and lower highs. But once this low gets broken, then if this gets up here like this, that 2-day and breaks yesterday's low, then we are getting confirmed. So monitor for pullback or consolidation into that 829 region. And that's 791. It's ideally what we look for before considering that new entry. So this is PCYR, got its very tight ranges, okay? And if this price gets back above this 2241 premises, maybe it's easy as getting above 2241 and then having to stop around this 2237 area. So maybe this gets going, something like this, could pull back into here and get going. So it's 2241 purchase or 2242 stop, 2237. If it quickly gets into R2, I would say move that stop up underneath 2241 or back under 2238, 39 region. PAS. So this recent big rally, it's now pulling back with lower lows and lower highs as a gap below the 5-day moving average. So you can see this recent rally up right here, the gap below the 5-day moving average. And now we have a potential shift of these gap down, making a new low and rallying up. So maybe this is going to get back above this 5-day moving average, get some strength into this 2662, and then maybe a potential pullback into this 2590 region. And then maybe from here, 2590 region, and then maybe from here we could start to get a bounce. And then from that here, we'll see the data on the 5-day moving average drop off over the next couple of days. And as price action could potentially consolidate, that could give us the opportunity as the price drops off to let that 5-day moving average flatten out and rise. And then perhaps maybe we could get something like this to actually set up down in the road for a lower risk setup with the 5-day moving average being eligible. CB. So again, recent rally, it's now pulling back to the 20-day moving average premises in that month-to-date VWAP area. You can start to see it's making lower lows and lower highs. But this is the same scenario as we just discussed on PAAS. So same kind of concept as we look for a rally. If you're day trading it, maybe you traded aggressively into this 2094.70, move your stops up through here. But ideally, from that swing trade perspective, to get that 5-day moving out eligible, we would need some type of rally. Same concept as the stock we discussed before. 5-day moving average starts to drop off over the next couple of days. And then we could start to look for that pivot high 5-day moving average to turn eligible. So then we have a rally to a new high up in this area above flat to rising 5-day. And then we could look to get back above this 295.83, play that breakout into 300 with a potential stop at 293.40. So we'll move, that's CB. And moving on to CAH. Big recent rally. And we got this 3-day consolidation. So we got this rally up. And now 3-day consolidation. So maybe it's just as simple as getting back above 133.30 right here. And just having a stop under this 132.46 premises. Underneath this low right here. Right here, as we broke up. Because if we start to break underneath this 2-day VWAP, this could end up being a trap if we can't get back above that 2-day VWAP. So that's CAH, UNM. We got up 2 days off this recent rally off the 20-day moving average. Would prefer to see some consolidation. It had some strength into the close, and we could see in the pre-market it's already trading down as it rallied above daily R2. So would prefer to see some consolidation for continuation, monitoring a break back above this 83.08 and a stop under this 82.26 premises. So maybe we get something like this, could pull back, undercut that 2-day VWAP a little bit, get back above the daily VWAP, and then break this 83.07. And then we can have a stop at 82.26 as it rallies up, pulls back, can move up, and then it can start to move and adjust our stops up. Moving on to apps. Pushed up on these earnings, you could say here. Aggressive push up. And now it's rallying back into this 20-day moving average recently. That's declining. And you could see here over the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 9 to 10 trading days, the data drops off. So if this price can consolidate for a day or two, it'll give the opportunity for this 20-day moving average to start to flatten out and rise. So potentially now we could see trend alignment with the rising 50-day, rising 20-day, rising 200-day moving average. So ideally on apps, monitor for a break back above this 368 region, this 2-day VWAP, with the potential stop under this 356 area. So we got in that nice pullback. Maybe this will pull back into this 346 region, get that quick rally, back into that 2-day VWAP. We could look for that consolidation play above the 2-day and daily VWAP. Play that break of the 368 for an entry, and then having that stop underneath this low and underneath the 3-day VWAP at 356. So again, all these level stops and scenarios, just giving some educational and some potential trade plans of what I would do. Always do your own research and make the trade your own. Hopefully this was helpful.